so you will not be chayiv ultimately and chalav as well. Okay, first possibility. Vigidamri, plus another possibility is abishul kuli amalo pligi lucky. Everyone agrees that you get malchus for the bishul. Keep pligi, so where did they argue? Achila, when it comes to consumption, man da amra ina loka da ha in isir chalal isir. The one who says you don't get malchus, he'll say very simple, in isir chalal isir. Uman da amra loka, the one who says you do get malchus, what will he say? This is why the Torah goes out and purposely phrases a prohibition of achila in a lashon of bishul to teach you. The lashon of bishul, to teach you that in any case, where ultimately what I will be chayiv for the bishul, like in this case of chaylev and chalav, I'll be chayiv ultimately again for achila as well. Okay. Another interpretation, v'baisem, another possibility, says the Gemara, mar amar chada, umar amar chada, v'lo pligi. But the other possibility is that each one of these individuals said one thing, and ultimately, again, they're not arguing. Take a look at Rashi. Mar amar chada, top Rashi, man damar loke, kai abishol, the chadi surhu, uman damar eina loke, kai achila. So we'll say, so it could very well be that ultimately, again, they're actually agreeing. The one who says you get malchus is referring to malchus on the bishul, and the mandam who says that your pater will ultimately hold that you are pater on the achila. And I will say, ultimately, again, that seems to be the way that is the way the Rambam paskins in this case. That if you cook chaylev and chalav together, you will get malchus. You will get malchus ultimately again you will get malchus for the bishul, right? You won't get malchus for the achila. Why? Based on the premise of ein iser chal al iser. Therefore, again, you'll get malchus ultimately for the bishul because there's no pre-existing iser, but you won't get malchus for the achila because there is a pre-existing iser. Good. Says the Gemara Meisvei, where's the kasha to this? Hamivashal b'meichala pater. So we'll say this is actually going to be a very interesting discussion that we're going to spend some time on next week about the status of meichalav. Meichalav is whey, W-H-E-Y, whey. When you make cheese, right? So ultimately, again, so the curdled milk sinks to the bottom or stays where it is, and there's like a watery, milky-ish substance that floats to the top. That watery, milky-ish substance is called whey. So the Gemara says, in halacha we call it meichalav. So meichalav. So what's the halacha? So we'll say, so what happens if you go ahead and you cook in meichalav? You cook basar in meichalav. So we'll say, so this is not typical chalav. This is the way. What's the halacha? Says the Gemara pater. You're pater. So the Gemara says, dam shebishlu b'chalav pater. So let's analyze this a little bit. So the Gemara says, dam shebishlu b'chalav pater. Similarly, if you cook dam in milk, you're pater. Ha'at samos v'agidin ha'karayim v'atafayim shebishlu b'chalav pater. If you cook bones or sinews, horns, hoofs in milk, you're pater, because we'll say those things don't have the status of basar. Hapigol v'hanosar v'hatamish shebashlan b'chalav chayiv. But we'll say if you take things which are sacrificially unfit, right, and you cook them in chalav, you will be chayiv, because at the end of the day, halacha l'maisa, those are considered to be basar. So the Gemara says, hay tana savar iser chal al iser. So listen to this, Rabbi say. So again, what's the issue here? Why is this a meisvei? Because Rabbi say you begin to see pigol nosar tame. These are items that are already asar. Yet, what did we just say? That if you cook them in milk, you're going to be chayiv al basar b'chalav. But say that contradicts what we just said before. Why? Because what did we just say before? In iser chal al iser. Yet here it's clear that iser chal al iser. To which the Gemara says, not a kasha. Hay tana saver iser chal al iser. We'll say we know this is a machlokes, right? It's a machlokes. So the Gemara says it's just two different opinions. Good. Next, hamavashal mechalav pater. So let's go back to the whey case. If you go ahead and you cook meat in whey, you cook meat in mechalav, you're pater. So we'll say, Misayeh Alei Reish Lakish. So this seems to support the position of Reish Lakish. What does Reish Lakish say? Disnan. We learned, Meichalav, Harehin Kechalav. Ultimately, again, whey has the status of milk. Vahamochal, Harihu Kishemen. And I will say, the mochal, Rashi says, is Mashke Hazov Min Hazesim. It's the liquid which oozes out of olives. The liquid which oozes out of olives. So we'll say, so again, the common denominator over here is that meichalav, the whey, is like the liquid that oozes out of milk, so to speak. The mochal is the liquid that oozes out of the olives, and therefore, again, what it's saying is mei chalav is like chalav, mochel is like shemen. Amrei Shlakish lo shan ol lahachshes azuraim. Shlakish says, 1 second. When do we say that mei chalav is like chalav, Rabbi say? That's only to go ahead and be machshes. Remember again, in order for seeds to become a kabel tumah, what has to happen? They have to have contact with what? With a liquid. So when do we say that mei chalav is like so milk is one of the 7 liquids. Milk is one of the 7 liquids. So therefore, again, what the Gemara says, mei chalav is like chalav, the Gemara suggests that's dafka for what? To be machshir zuraim. Aval le'inyan bishul basar b'chalav, mei chalav einon kechalav. But I will say regarding basar b'chalav, right? If you go ahead and you cook meat in whey, you go ahead and you cook meat ultimately again in this mei chalav, halacha l'maisa, that will not be aser. Again, I will say we're going to spend some more time on that. Tan Rabbanan, b'chalav imo, right? The pasuk says lo sevashal gedi b'chalav imo. You can't go ahead and cook. You can't cook meat in the mother's milk. Ainli ela b'chalav imo. I only know ultimately again that it's in the mother's milk. B'chalav para v'rachal minayin. How do I know? Say lav dafka, just the mother's milk. How do I know? Also in the milk of a cow, in the milk of a sheep, in other words, in the milk of other animals. Amrit kavachomer. What do we say a kavachomer? What's the kavachomer? Uma imo shelo ne'esra imo b'harba ne'esra imo b'bishol. So we'll say again, if you were to go ahead and mate the mother and the child together, right? You were to do that. There's no issue of kilayim, right? There's no issue ultimately of grafting species. Yet ne'esra imo b'bishol. Yet the halacha is that you can't cook the mother and the child together. In other words, what it really means is you can't cook the mother's milk together with the child, together with the basar. Para v'rachal shenesra imo barba eno din shenesra imo bishulo. Certainly, I will say other animals where there's an issur of grafting, right? There certainly would be an issur of what? Of using their milk to cook the meat of the kid. Therefore, what we learn from the pasuk, chalav imo indeed backs up this assertion that halacha l'maisa, again, chalav imo means that's an example of the milk. That's an example of the milk. But halacha l'maisa, the milk of all animals ultimately will be prohibited. Vaha lam likra. But I will say, why do I need a pasuk? After all, again, asyale. So the Gemara says we clear now without the pasuk. And if you don't need the pasuk, why rely on the pasuk? Because we'll say the truth is there's a pircha on this. We'll say first wide line, kuf yud dalid amad aleph. First wide line, 114a. What's the pircha? Me'echa kamai sisla me'imo. Because we're really learning it out from the mother. Mali imo shekein ne'esra ima b'shchita. See, we'll say the mother and the child relationship has an additional chumrah. What's the additional chumrah? You can't shecht the mother and the offspring on the same day. Yet, Tomar bepara shelo ne'esra ima b'shchita. So therefore, I will say, but when it comes to other animals, right? Remember again, there is no prohibition of shechting. There's no prohibition of shechting other animals on the same day as this kid. To which the Gemara says, Talmud lomar b'chalav imo. Therefore, we'll say the pasuk comes to teach me additionally chalav imo. So what we're doing is we're broadening the definition of chalav imo to teach me that halacha l'maisa chalav imo does not only apply ultimately to what? To the actual milk of the mother, but rather chalav imo also applies to what? General milk as well. Tanya idach, another brayso that supports this. B'chalav imo, pasuk says, don't cook the kid in the mother's milk. Ainli ela b'chalav imo, b'chalav achoso gidola minayin. How do I know say that this halacha bas b'chalav applies to what? Also to the milk of the kid's older sister. Okay, meaning a sibling animal. To which the Gemara says, Amrit kavachomer. I can say it's a kavachomer. Uma imo shenichnas ladir lehis aser ne'esra imo b'bishol. So let's listen to this. It's actually quite interesting. Meiser behema. Meiser behema. The halacha is you have to tithe animals. Now we'll say, now the idea is you have to tithe ideally from the same cohort. Right? What does that mean? From all the animals born in the same year. It's first Mishnah Rosh Hashanah. Right? Ab Rosh Hashanah, that's why we have Rosh Hashanah ultimately again for Maasros. So ultimately again, you want to go out and tithe animals from the same chronological cohort. So it's interestingly enough, in the animal kingdom, there are many animals that ultimately have the ability to give birth within the first year of their life. So interestingly enough, you could have a situation of a mother and child born in the same Meiser Behema cohort. Really interesting. We'll say this is you could use this at your perm suda today. I'm saying like if there's a lull in conversation. So by the way, right? So I'll say so again. So I want to point. So therefore again, you could have a situation where the mother and child are part of the same Meiser Behema cohort. So the Gemara says Uma this aser bishul. So I'll say so the mother who could literally go into the same pen as the offspring for Meiser Behema, yet is asered with the child in terms of bishul, i.e. its chalav is aser with the child. Achoso shelo nichnasei moladir lehes aser ino din shenesrei bishul. Certainly, again, the older sister, right, the older animal, the older sibling, which cannot be counted in the same meiser. See these because we'll say that's not going to happen. They're going to be born within the same year, right? So therefore, again, halacha l'meiser, they can't be counted as meiser behema together. Certainly, again, the older sister's milk should be aser with the younger brother's basar. Talmud lomar b'chalavimo. Therefore, you're going to both say, and therefore, in this case, Talmud lomar means over here it's backing up the assertion. Therefore, you're right. The pasuk of chalavimo doesn't mean to limit it to the mother's milk, but rather is coming to include other forms of milk as well. But why don't you need a pasuk at all? Ha asyile. Again, it's clear. We'll say, why don't you need the pasuk? I'm learning that from the Kal V'chomer. To which the Gemara says, Ravashi mishum deika lemeimar meikar the dina pircha. Because we'll say the truth is the Kal V'chomer has a pircha on it. What's the pircha on the Kal V'chomer? So mehecha kamai sila. Where are you learning it out from? Meimo, from the mother. Mali imo shekei ne'esrei ma b'shchita. We'll say again, the mother has a chumrah. What's her chumrah? You can't shecht her and the gedi on the same day. Tomer ba'achos gedol shenesrei b'shchita. That chumrah does not apply to the older sister animal. Talmud lomar b'chalavimo. Therefore, we'll say the pasuk says in the mother's milk. So therefore, again, we'll say all the same drushes, right? The drushes ultimately again are teaching us that halacha l'maisa chalavimo does not just mean the mother's milk, but rather again it refers really to a broader category of milk from an animal. Ashkichan achoso gedola. Fine. So now we've established that the Yisur Basa b'chalav applies to the milk of the older sister. Achosa kitana minayin. What about the younger sister? Asya mibene. So we'll say the truth is we can learn out from between both of them. Mehai tisi. So which one should we learn it out from? Tisi mi'imo. See if you learn out from the mother. Mali mon shekei nesra ma b'shchita. So we'll say you can't really learn out from the mother. Why? Because the mother has a chumrah. What's the chumrah of the mother? That she is aser together on shchita on the same day as the offspring. Achosa gidol tochiach. So we can learn from Achosa Gedola. Malachosa Gedola, Shelo Nichnasei Maladir Lis Aser. So Achosa Gedola also has a chumrah. What's the chumrah will say? She can never be part of the same chronological cohort for Meiser Behema. So Imo Tochiach. Okay, we can learn from the mother, because the mother can go ahead and be part of the same chronological cohort for Meiser Behema, but the mother has her own chumrah, will say, which is what? That halacha l'maisa, you can't shechter on the same day as the child. V'chazra din lo rizek rizeh, v'lo rizek rizeh. Zat tzad hashav Hashem supposed to, what is the common denominator? Shuhu basar, v'asar levashal b'chalav. But say the common denominator is that the gedi is basar, these other animals provide milk, and it is usher to cook the basar of the gedi in the milk of these animals. Af ani avi achoso kitana shu basar va'asar lebashal. So we'll say, so the common denominator between the mother and the older sister is that both of them provide milk, ultimately, again, in which it is usher to cook the basar of the animal. Therefore, I will come to include the basar, ultimately, the milk of the younger sister, that'll also be usher out basar b'chalav. So the Gemara says, if that's the case, why don't you learn out the halacha concerning achosa gedol, the older sister, from this same limud as well? Inachinami, you're right, we can. If that's the case, ella b'chalav imo lamali. So we'll say, if that's the case, that I can learn out all of these halachos just simply from this tzad sheva thing, from this common denominator, then what do I do with the pasuk ultimately of chalav imo? What do I darshan from that? To which the Gemara says, you need it for the following brisa. B'chalav imo, the pasuk says you can't cook the kid in its mother's milk. Only ella b'chalav imo, I only know that that's true with the milk of the mother. Amad Bezer both say, he ba'atzma b'chalba minayin. Both is actually quite interesting. What about cooking the kid in its own milk? Right? He ba'atzma b'chalba minayin. So I say, so again, this is actually an interesting thing to ponder. So we've established, Rabbi say, is that the prohibition of chalav will ultimately apply to all of these other animals. Okay? So we've established again the mother, we've established the child, we've established the older sister, the younger sister, we've established para Rachel. Here's an interesting question. Hiatzma bechalba minayin. What about, again, the animal itself in its own milk? What's the halacha? So the Gemara says, Amrit kavachomer, uma b'makom. So we'll say, here we go. Amrit kavachomer. We'll say second line, kuf yadalat amud beis. Uma b'makom shelo ne'esar pri impri b'shchita. So we'll say, if you have a situation where there is no prohibition to shecht a pri with a pri, we'll say, what does that refer to? This is Rashi a little bit further down on the daf. Rashi says, Sheshochtin shnei b'nei para achas b'yom echad. Remember, the halacha is, you can shecht, let's say you have a mother animal, you have two daughters, we'll call it, two daughter cows. Right, so we'll say, so what's the halacha? The halacha is you could go ahead and shecht those two daughters on the same day. Okay, we know that. The only prohibition is the mother and the child. So we'll say, so now watch this. Amrit kavachomer, uma b'makom shelo ne'esar pri and pri b'shchita. So we'll say the pri is called the offspring of the mother. That's called the pri. So you could check the pri with another pri in shchita. Ne'esar pri ma'im b'shchita. So ultimately, again, the pri is with the mother. So we'll say the offspring and the mother cannot be shechted on the same day. Makom shene'esar pri and pri b'bishol. So we'll say in the case where the pri is usher to be mavashlet with another pri, which Rabbi means what? So the two peiros in this case is one pri is the gedi, another pri is the milk, because both are considered to be the peiros of the mother animal, right? So you're going to see here why you have the lashonos over here. So the gedi is the pri of its mother, the milk is the pri of the mother as well. So we'll say in the case b'makom shene'esar pri in pri b'bishol, Eino din shene'esar pri im ha'im bebishol. So too again, I will say what? Halacha l'maisa, the pri, the offspring, ultimately again will be usher with the mother as well in bishul. Talmud lomar b'chalev imo. Therefore, I will say the pasuk says that what? With the milk of the mother. So therefore, the Gemara says halam likra. But 1 second, why do I need a pasuk? I will say you just proved about the mother's milk from a kal v'chomer. So why do I need ultimately again the pasuk? To which the Gemara says, Lama likra, ha'asile, amrav achtabai bar ami, mishum di'ika lamemar sus ben susya. Listen to these. It's actually very interesting cases. Because we'll say the truth is, this is applications for a different situation. What's a different situation? If you have this horse, the son of a horse, achi parda, who has a brother that's a mule. You think your family's complicated, I will say, right? So again, so what this saying is the mother mated with a couple of different animals. So what happens? So a sus ben sus, ya achi parda, yochiach, sha'aser pri impri. Because it will say in that case, the horse is aser to mate with the mule, umuter pri ma'im. But technically speaking, the horse is permitted, you're permitted to mate the horse with its mother. And as well as remember again, there's no halachas of like incest when it comes to animals. It doesn't schmeck right, as they say, but you understand. Good. So the Gemara says, umuter pri ma'im. But ultimately, again, but halacha l'maisa, the pri is permitted with the aim. To which the Gemara says, hasam zera'afu de gagarim. But we'll say there it's different because the identity of the animal ultimately is determined by the father. Pered ben susya achi pardi yochiach. Because we'll say the case of the mule, which is the son of the horse, the brother of the female mule, will be able to prove this. Why? Shemuter pri and pri, because we'll say the two offspring are permitted with each other. Va'aser pri ma'im. But yet, ultimately, again, the offspring is permitted ultimately with the mother. Ella Amar Mar, because we'll say again, what we're doing is, the Gemara, just to understand the flow of this conversation, the Gemara just started these conversations with what we call pri and pri, based on the case of Basar B'chalav. Because Basar B'chalav is a case of pri and pri. What's the pri and pri? Pri number 1 is the gedi. Pri number 2 is the milk. Right? Both are considered to be, so to speak, the fruit, just like the fruit grows from the tree. So ultimately, again, the gedi and the milk are the peiros of the mother. So the Gemara was just pointing out over here that ultimately, again, by Basar B'chalav, there's an isra of the pri with the pri. Once we started this, the Gemara is just giving a bunch of other cases of pri and pri. So the Gemara says, Ela Amar Mar Brei Dravina, Mishum De'ikala Meimar, Eved ben Shivcha, Achi Mishuchrara Seochiach. We'll say there's another case of an Eved, who is the son of a Shivcha, who is the brother of an emancipated slave woman. Okay? So what's the case over here? Sha'aser pri impri, because I will say the slave son is aser with the free daughter, umuter pri ma'im. But technically speaking, the slave son is permitted to his mother. So which the Gemara says that case is different as well. Hasam get shechrahu de kagarim. Ultimately, I'm going to say because the operative piece in all of that is what? Is the get shechrar. Daha eved ben mishuchreres achi shifcha yochiach. Because we'll say ultimately again the case of an Eved who is the son of a Meshuchreres, the brother of a Shivcha, will prove how so. Shemuter pri and pri, because we'll say in that case the offspring are permitted with each other. Va'aser pri ma'im, but ultimately again the offspring is prohibited to the mother. Ela amravidi bar avin mishum deikal amemar kloi zraim yochichu. Rather, Rabbi says Rabbi Bar Avin, because you could say that the case of Klai Zera, we'll say Klai Zera means mixtures of seeds. Different than Klai Akerem. Klai Akerem refers to a specific mixture of grape seeds with wheat. Klai Zarim is general mixture of seeds together. Sha'aser pri and pri, because we'll say ultimately again, you are not permitted to mix the seeds together. This is actually very interesting. Umutter pri ma'im. But ultimately, again, the seed is permitted with the aim. I will say, what's the aim in this context? The ground, the earth. Very interesting, right? The earth. So we'll say, so the seeds are prohibited with each other, but obviously the seeds with the aim, the seeds with the mother are permitted, because you could plant any one of those seeds individually, of course, with the mother. To which the Gemara says, Klum nesar pri and pri ela al yedei aim. But one second. Is there any possibility, ultimately, again, of asering the pri and the pri without the mother? In other words, we'll say seeds without soil are absolutely irrelevant. To which the Gemara says, because you could put wheat and barley together in a receptacle, and ultimately, again, nothing will happen. So we'll say, I can say as follows, going back to Basar B'chalav. The reason why ultimately, again, the pri and pri will be usher is because they're two distinct entities. Tomar, pri ma'im, shekein guf echad. So we'll say, but ultimately, again, say that ultimately, again, the pri with the mother, which is one guf, ultimately, again, maybe will not be usher. Mishum hachi itzrichkra. So we'll say, so again, I would have thought that halacha lemaisa, since the pri and the aim can be considered ultimately, again, one guf by basar b'chalav, right, by the gedi in chalevimo, that therefore, again, it would not be usher. Kamashon, that's not the case. The pasuk teaches me, lo sevashal gedi b'chalevimo, that even though, of course, there's a strong connection between the mother, ultimately, again, and the milk of the mother and the gedi, the offspring, the isser of basar b'chalav ultimately will still be there. So the Gemara goes right there. We'll say, Amravashi, minayin lebasar b'chalav she'asar b'achila. So we'll say, here we go. So now we're finished with the pre and pre discussion, and we also now established that the pasuk of lo sevashal gedi b'chalevimo. Chalevimo, of course, means what? Much more than just the mother's milk, but rather, again, covers all types of milk. So the Gemara says, "Vayter Amrav Ashi minayin lebasar b'chalav she'asar b'achila." We'll say, from where do we know that basar b'chalav is asar b'achila? So we'll say, remember again, going back for just a moment, we said before on Kuf Yud Gimel Amud Beis, and on top of Kuf Yud Daled Amud Aleph, that what? That Hotzia Torah Isser Achila B'Lashon Bishul. That the Torah phrases the Isser Achila of Basar B'Chalav in a Lashon Bishul, which means, Rabbi say, the Gemara was presupposing that Lo Sivashel Gedi B'Chalivimo Sivashel really means what? Really means what? Don't eat it. Right? Don't eat it. It's just phrasing it as Bishul. Now the Gemara is saying, where do you get that from? Or maybe Lo Sivashel just means what? Means what? Lo Sivashel, don't cook it. How do I know that there's an Isser Achila? So here we go, I'll say, Shne'emar Lo Sochal Kol Toeva. This is incredible, because the pasuk says, "Do not eat any abomination," which Rabbi say means what? Kol she'ta'avti lecha harehu b'chol toch b'val toch. So, what's the amazing drasha? So, the Rav Ashi suggests what it means is as follows: the Chosh Baruch Hu tells us, "Kol she'ta'avti lecha," which means anything I assered to you, anything I have said is aser, which by definition then becomes a toeva. You cannot eat. So we'll say, so this is actually very interesting. So Rav Ashi is suggesting that the pasuk of Lo Sochal Kol So'eva is a catch-all phrase. Anything that I have assered to you, by definition, becomes a toeva, which means as follows: that once basar b'chalav becomes aser, it falls under this umbrella of Lo Sochal Kol So'eva, and ultimately, again, that teaches me my Isser Achila. Incredible. Ve'enli ala b'achila. It only tells me I can't eat it. B'hana minayin. So how do I know that I can't get benefit from it? Kid Rabbi Avo. Dam Rabbi Avo Amar Lazar. Kol makom shene'emar lo yochal, lo sochal, lo sochlu, echad isser achila, ve'echad isser hana b'mashma. Because what it comes to teach me what? That halacha l'maaseh, any times the Torah uses lashon of achila, that will say that teaches me not only is it aser b'achila, but it's also aser b'hana. So we'll say, here's what's interesting. Anytime there's an Isser Achila always includes Isser Hana, unless, of course, what? You know otherwise. unless of course you are told otherwise. So we'll say, for example, until the Torah goes out of its way to tell me something like it does by nevela. But we'll say what happens by nevela, because watch this. Because we'll say when it comes to nevela, Torah explicitly talks about giving it to the ger. Ger in this context doesn't mean a convert, right? Ger means like a ger toshav, a resident alien. And ultimately, again, an akum. So we'll say, before we go on, I just want to point out how dramatic this is unfolding over here. So we'll say, so what's amazing about this is as follows. What we know is, Torah phrases Lashon, or the Isser of Basar B'chalav, in a Lashon of Bishol. Rav Ashi is coming to ask me now, how do I know that it's Asr Ba'achila? Rav Ashi advances a Bam Shel Chiddush, which is what? Which is that, Halacha L'maisa, it's actually covered under Lo Sochal Kol To'eva. Anytime the Torah tells you can't eat something or you can't do something, it becomes a toeva. It becomes a toeva. It's an abomination. It's asr, right? Once it's asr, this is where the isser achila now comes from, right? What about the isser hana? Now we'll say step 2. The Gemara now is telling Rav Ashi is telling me that anytime you see an isser achila, the default is what? The default is what? That it's an isser hana as well, unless of course the Torah explicitly tells you that there is no isser hana. What's an example of where the Torah tells you that there is no Isra Hana? Nevela. Both say, watch this. Here we go. This is incredible. This Sanya, incredible. This Sanya. Lo sochul kol nevela legera shebishracha titnena va'achla o machar lenachri. Both say, here we go. Torah says, you shall not go ahead and eat any nevela. Right? You can't eat a nevela. Both say, nevela is what? An animal that just drops dead. Right? It just dies. It just dies. So we'll say, so obviously I can't eat it. It hasn't been properly shechted. So what could I do with it? So the Torah says, here is what you do. Give it to the ger toshav. Also remember again, a ger toshav is a non-Jew who accepts upon himself Sheva mitzvos b'nei Noach. He is a part of Jewish society. He's given equal rights. He's a ger toshav. So you could give it to the ger toshav, or omachar lenachri, or you could go ahead and sell it to an akum, sell it to an idolater. So we'll say, so first of all, again, what does that mean? That means you can get hana from it. So we'll say, here's a situation where what? There's an isra achila, but there is no isra hana. How do I know there is no isra hana? Because what the Torah is telling me, I could give it away, I could sell it. So we'll say, all I know is that what? I can go ahead and give it to the ger and sell it to the akum. Leger b'mechira minay. And we'll say, how do I know that what? That I could sell it to a ger? It was an interesting question, right? Torah tells me you can give it to the ger or sell it to the akum. Okay, how do I know that I could also sell it to the ger and give it to the akum? Minai tamalomar leger titnena omachar laovid kochavim. I'm sorry, leger titnena. So the Gemara says omachar. So therefore, I will say everything in life is about where you choose to go ahead and put the commas. So the Gemara says the way you can read the pasuk is lo sochlenu kol nevela leger shabishecha titnena v'achla omachar kama. Right, omachar. So I was teaching me that I could sell it to the ger, I could give it to the ger, whatever I want. Lo ovid kochavim minasin minayin. We'll say, how do I know that I'm permitted to go ahead and give it to the Ovid Kochavim? Talmud Lomar titnena o machar lenachri. And we'll say you can move that comma beautifully, right? So we'll say, by the way, I want to point out, these are not like games. What I want to point out to you is the Maharal points this out. The Maharal says, why did HaKadosh Baruch Hu not give us nekudos for the Torah? Ask any Baal Koreh, right? How much easier would Shabbos preparation be, right? Megillah preparation be if you had nekudos, right? Maybe throw in a little bit of trup, Mam Shalom Al Yisrael. But we'll say, HaKadosh Baruch Hu wants us to be able to make these drushes. There's incredible wisdom embedded in the Torah that requires us to understand. So there's dafka no nekudos, there's dafka no punctuation, because HaKadosh Baruch Hu wants us to darshan it in the right way. So watch this. So we'll say, so move the comma back. So the Gemara says, O machor lo, I'm sorry, lo ovid kol minasim minay tam lo titnena o machor. But say, so move the comma back. Lo sochlu kol nevela legera asher b'sharecha kama, and then titnena va'achla o machor lenachri. So we'll say, so therefore again, depending on, because I have the ability to move the punctuation, it teaches me that I could give it to the ger, sell it to the ger, I could give it to the akum, sell it to the akum. I see the Gemara says, nimsa echad ger ve'echad ovid kochavim. So what does this teach me? This teaches me that halacha l'maisa, whether I'm going ahead, right? Whether it's going to be a ger and ovid kochavim, I am permitted to sell it. I am permitted to give it. Rabbi Huda says no. Dvarim kich savan. You have to look at the pasuk literally. leger b'nesina ulo ovid kochavim b'mechira. So what's Rabbi Yehuda says? No, the halacha is you have to give it to the ger, and ultimately again you could sell it to the nachri, but you can't reverse that. So what's like fundamental machlokes? Rabbi Meir, Rabbi Yehuda. Rabbi Meir says Torah is just giving me suggestions, right? Suggestions. Give it to the ger, sell it to the nachri, to the akum, but in reality, do whatever you want. Do whatever you want. Rabbi Yehuda is saying no. Dvarim kichsavan. Ger, you have to give it to him. Akum, you have to sell it to him. My time, Rabbi Yehuda. So that's Rabbi Yehuda's logic. I'm Rabbi Meir, because Rabbi Yehuda will say this. Rabbi Meir, if you're really right that it doesn't matter who you give it to, who you sell it to, lichtov rachmana. The pasuk should have been phrased as follows: Lo sochlu kol nevela, lager asher b'sharecha titnena va'achla umachar. Both say, then just go ahead and say, don't eat the nevela to the ger in your midst. Titnena va'achla umachar. Give it to him to eat or sell it. O lamali. We'll say, why do I need that O? Right? Why do I need that? Why do I need that word O? Right? We'll say, so again, remember that O is lo sochlu kol nevela ger sheshech titnena va'achla o machar l'nachri. We'll say ger nachri. We would have learned the halachas are the same. We don't usually distinguish that much. So just phrase it simpler. Why are you adding in that whole secondary phrase o machar l'nachri? To which the Gemara says, "Oh lamali shmamina ledvarm kichsavan hu da'asa." Ultimately, the Gemara said the O is coming to teach me that the Torah wants you to follow the instructions as they are written. Leger b'nesina ulo ovid kochavim b'mechira. To teach you, say what? That you give it to the ger and you sell it to the akum. I have Rabbi Meir Amar Lacha. Rabbi Meir will say, no, there's a good reason why it's phrased that way. Hi o lahaktim nesina de ger lemechir david kochavim. Rabbi Meir says, no, the Torah is coming to teach you a hierarchy. It is better to give it to the ger toshav than it is to sell it to the akum. There's a hierarchy here. Better to give it to the ger toshav, who ultimately again has accepted Shem Mitzvahs b'nei Noach, than even to make a profit and sell it to the akum. Rabbi Yehuda says that's obvious. Lahaktim nesina de ger lemechir david kochavim lo tzarich kra. So I don't need a pasuk to teach me that it's preferable to go ahead and give it to the ger rather than go ahead and sell it to the akum. That's obvious. Why Abosai? So the Gemara says Svarahu. Well, so there's a simple distinction. I am obligated to what? I am obligated to go ahead and sustain the ger. I am not obligated to sustain the akum. So because that's what Rabbi Yehuda says, it's obvious that there's a hierarchy over here. So we'll say, fundamental machlokes between Rabbi Meir and Rabbi Yehuda, ultimately again as to how to understand the pasuk. Rabbi Yehuda passing dvarim kich savan, Torah is giving me a hierarchy, an insistence on a hierarchy. Ideally, give it to the ger. If there's no ger, to give it to ger toshav. Remember again, then you could sell it to the akum. Rabbi Meir, Torah giving me suggestions, but ultimately whatever I want to do, I have the ability to do. So we'll stop over here. I want to share with you just a short idea on Purim. So I will say, I've said this over just in a couple of different shiurim I've given over the course preparing for Purim, and it's really struck me that the Yom Tov of Purim has this incredible amount of energy, this incredible amount of kedusha that just often we don't harness because again it's a hectic Yom Tov, right? There's a lot going on. So therefore again but I just want to share with you it's a simple vart, just to kind of frame the day. Suppose there's an interesting halacha by Purim that says, Shulchan Aruch Paskins, in medaktikin b'ma'os Purim. So we'll say in general, when it comes to tzedakah, so the halacha is, somebody comes to ask you for money, you have every right to ask them a million questions, right? You don't just have to give your money free. You have to be charitable, but you're absolutely permitted to ask questions. Not only that, but it's also within your right to go ahead and say yes, say no, although I would tell you, always better never to say no, even if it's a quarter, even if it's $1. Always Jew puts out his hand. But again, but you have a right. You have a right to say, not here, no, not today, not you, fine. When it comes to Purim, Purim's different. In medaktikin b'mos Purim. I'll say the Shulchan Aruch Paskins, when it comes to Purim, we're not medaktik. Ella, kol misha poshet yado litol nostim lo. We'll say simple, incredible halacha. Whoever stretches out their hand, you give them tzedakah. We'll say a unique halacha on Purim. Doesn't apply any other day of the year. Even Erev Yom Kippur, mitzvah to give tzedakah. But again, not like this. Every other day I could ask for your tzedakah credentials. Today, if somebody asks, I ultimately give them. So we'll say in the Svar Makadoshim, it brings down this idea that this is not just a din in tzedakah. That Purim is a day that is incredible, ultimately again for tshuva. And this idea applies on the ruchni level as well. Throughout the rest of the year, HaKadosh Baruch Hu is medakdek with us. You want to do tshuva? Are you genuine? Are you not genuine? Today on Purim, Kol mi sheposhet yado litol nosnim lo. Today, if I stretch out my hand to HaKadosh Baruch Hu and I say, Ibn Shalom, I want you, hold me, take me back, ein medakdek. Excuse me, nosnim lo. HaKadosh Baruch Hu ultimately gives us. Today is such a day of tshuva me'ava. Today is such a day of incredible kimu v'kiblu. Today is a day of Kabbalah. And I'm going to say, the Svarim bring down this interesting, that Purim has all of the Yomim Tovim ultimately in it. So the Pei is Pesach, the Vav is, and Sukkis, Visukkos, it's a little bit of whatever, right? The Reish is Rosh Hashanah, the Yud ultimately is Yom Kippur, and the Mem is something else. Now, but again, all the Yomim Tovim ultimately. Matan Torah, thank you, Shavuos. Matan Torah, Shavuos. Thank you. So we'll say, so again, everything in Purim, we'll say, that's the godless of today. And whereas the rest of the year, so listen to this, I'm going to tell you something amazing. So we'll say, Saisa brought down by the Maggid of Mezrich. He said this, we just spoke about Kamas, then we're going to go daven. He just spoke about Kamas. So remember, the Lashon of the Shulchan Aruch is, Kol aposhet imidatikin memos Purim, ela kol misha poshet yado lital nosdim lo. Whoever stretches out his hand. So we'll say the way it works is like this. The rest of the year, what governs tshuva is Kadosh Baruch Hu tells us, pischuli pesach shamachat. Kadosh Baruch Hu says you have to start somewhere. You have to open for me even an opening the size of a needle, just a tiny little hole, a tiny little something to start. But you have to start. You have to start. Open up this, the hole of the size of a needle, and I'll do the rest. Says the Maggid of Mezrich. On Purim, you don't even have to open up an opening the size of a needle. All you have to do is say to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, I want you in my life. I want to come home. I want to be close to you. You don't even have to do anything dramatic. You just have to want it, and HaKadosh Baruch Hu is mekabel us b'tshuva, bi'ava, with incredible and overwhelming kedusha. And he says, what's the pshat? It's in the Shulchan Aruch. Because what does the Shulchan Aruch say? Kol misha poshet. I will say, what does kol misha poshet mean? Whoever just outstretches his hands. Whoever just outstretches his hands, yado nosnim lo. I will say, in ultimately, again, so you could taina, yado means Kadosh Baruch Hu extends his hand, but also, the yad of a kli, right, is the handle. So then Kadosh Baruch Hu says to us, I don't need you to make the whole utensil, I just need you at least to make the handle. I need you to do something. Not on Purim. On Purim, I'll say, all you have to do is yearn. On Purim, all you have to do is want. On this day, which somehow in some strange way captures the Kiddush of all of the other Yomim Tovim, all you have to do is in your heart say, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, I want you, I need you, I want to come back to you. Kol misha poshet. If you outstretch your heart, you outstretch your hands, you say, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, I want to come back to you, yado nosnim lo. HaKadosh Baruch Hu extends his hand to us and brings us back to him. And we'll say this is the incredible koach of this day. And it's important for us in the midst of all of the delivering the shalach manas. And I will say sometimes, if we're honest, sometimes we might get a little bit annoyed on Purim. Right? Because I can't believe I have to drive the kids everywhere. How many friends do you have? Right? Now I know why, so many teachers, all of this. I will say, so again, okay, it's a hectic Yom Tiv, but I will say at some point in time you have to take a step back. And even if it's just for a couple of seconds, say, Ribono Shel Olam, Kol Misha Poshet, I'm stretching my hands out to you. I want to come back. I want to come home. I want to be close to you. On this day, I may have messed up on the previous Yomim Tovim. I may have failed to capitalize on the previous Yomim Tovim. But on this day, which harnesses the Kiddush of every single Yom Tov, Kol Misha Poshet, I'm stretching out my hands to you, and Shulchan Aruch assures us, Yado litol nosnim lo. Ultimately, again, HaKadosh Baruch Hu extends his hand back to us. We'll say we should be zocha to have an incredible day of tshuva. We should be zocha to have an incredible day of devekus. We should be zocha to have an incredible day of v'ahavta l're'acha kamocha, because that is an incredible part of Purim as well. The chibur, the achdus, the devekus, and most of all, the Meretz Hashem, we should be zocha to tap in and to experience the beautiful kedusha of this day.